What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yoga with Alyssa. It's Alyssa. So in this video today, we're going to be doing a flow to help ignite that creativity in us, which means the flow is going to be a little creative, kind of doing it on a whim. So with further ado, let's roll out our mats, hit the intro video, and let's start. So whenever you're ready, you come down to your comfortable seated position. And as you come down, just take a moment, allowing yourself to settle in. So get any of those jitters out, anything we need to get ourselves to really come into this moment. Resting the hands on the knees, maybe they flip up to receive good energy. And as you take an inhale in, really beginning to find that tall spine. And as you exhale, feeling the sit bones rooting into the earth. As you continue to find your level of breath today. And as you feel the belly expanding on the inhales, the belly contract towards the spine on the exhales. Feel yourself begin to melt. Feeling the muscles in the body softening. Feel the jaw and the space between the eyebrows relax. As you begin to settle into this space, into this moment. Taking whatever happened in the day thus far and let it go. Giving yourself a smile and a big thank you for showing up for yourself for this practice. Set the intention for yourself to just have fun, allowing whatever creative juices that flow through us to come out, to be ignited. We're going to take a couple more rounds of just our normal breathing here. And then if we have the eyes closed, we can flutter them open, we can keep them closed. But the next part, we're actually going to begin to work into what's known as our Kapalabhati breath, which is, it's got a couple different names, but it's known as the skull shining breath or the breath of fire. So with our Kapalabhati breath, it's all about taking really passive inhales and really quick and sharp exhales. So we're just going to do a couple rounds of normal, just take 2 normal breaths here. Find that tall spine once more. If you want to place your hands on your belly, you can. And then we're going to begin to work into that Kapalabhati. So kind of imagining almost like your breath is a rubber band that you're just constantly flicking. So you take a very passive inhale in, exhale out real sharp, but you're going to continue that motion in and out, in and out. It's a constant movement. It's just an example of what it's going to sound like. knowing that you can continue with that normal breath. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not doing that. That's really weird. That's totally fine. If you want to keep the normal breath, just continuing to find that inhale and exhale. But as we begin to try out our Kapalabhati breath, knowing you might feel a little lightheaded while doing this, and that's normal. And if you want to, just back off, listen to your body, go back to your breath. Everything will be fine. So together we're going to take an inhale in. You're just going to exhale out through the mouth. And then as you take that inhale, finding that very passive exhale, sharp, we take that sharp exhale. And release. So really constricting the belly in towards the spine on those exhales. Taking that passive inhale. Exhale out real sharp. And release. Take an inhale and exhale. We're going to do one more round of that breath. We're really just igniting our core here, our solar plexus, that place where the fire comes out. So inhale with that passive inhale. Exhale, squeezing the belly in real quick. And release. Take an inhale. Begin to extend the arms up above you, really reaching it up. And as you exhale, beginning to fold down over the legs. Come as far as you can go. Softening yourself here. Taking one more inhale. And then as you exhale, you can either swing the feet out to the side or just begin to roll up onto your knees, coming into a tabletop position. And then immediately coming into that tabletop position, we're going to bring our big toes to touch, sink the hips back, come back into a child's pose, really extending the arms, forehead forward, releasing the forehead down. Find a little rock from side to side. We're going to continue to find a lot of really random, kind of crazy movements throughout the practice. And just allow yourself to have fun. Stop holding back on yourself. And then bringing a stillness in, we're going to lift up onto the fingertips, beginning to stretch into the arms. And then again, little rock from side to side, and make this movement as big or as small as you want it to be. And then bring yourself through to stillness. Inhale, you're going to roll up into your tabletop position. Exhale, begin to send the hips down, reaching the heart through the arms, sending the gaze forward. Really pressing those shoulder blades back. As you exhale, roll it back. Come into your child's pose. Inhale, rolling it up. Exhale, hips are going to go down. They're going to stay lifted as you send the heart through the arms. Exhale, roll it back. Come back into your child's pose. One more inhale is going to roll us up into tabletop. As you exhale, begin to slide your hands forward. Beginning to release the heart down as you soften down onto the arms, sending ourselves down into our extended puppy posture. So forehead can release to the mat. It doesn't have to. Let's just stretch into the shoulders here. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, sliding yourself back. Beginning to release down onto your forearms. We can bring the hands to prayer here. As we begin to tuck our toes, we're going to send the hips up and back, coming into what we call our dolphin pose. So just like our downward facing dog, but on the forearms. And always knowing that in any practice that you do, if you're having any wrist issues, you can always come into this version instead of the downward facing dog. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, release your knees down. Inhale, draw up tall. Send the fingertips up above you as you stand up on the knees. Exhale, bending the elbows, really pressing the hips forward. Squeeze the glutes in, finding goalpost arms. Inhale, sending the hands up. Exhale, you're going to plant the hands down. Tuck your toes. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, send those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. First one of the practice. Beginning to pedal the feet out here. And take an inhale, lift up on your toes. Exhale, bend those knees, sink it back, stretch into your shoulders. Inhale, roll it forward, come into your plank pose. And then as you exhale, send those hips up and back. Inhale, lifting up on the toes. Exhale, bending the knees, sink the hips back, stretch into your shoulders. Inhale, roll it forward, coming into your high plank, bringing those shoulders and hips in one long line. Drawing that lower belly up and in. Feel the shaking. Invite it in. And then as you exhale, release your knees. Bend the elbows in towards your side. We're going to lower down to the belly. So we're planting the hands about in line with the shoulders, drawing the elbows in. We're going to take an inhale, lifting the head and chest, coming up into that low cobra as you press the pelvic bone into the mat. Begin to lift the hands, coming into a goal post. Keep pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. On an inhale, see if you can lift up a little bit more. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, press it up into your tabletop. On our exhale, send it up and back, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale in here. As we exhale, we're going to begin to walk our hands back towards our feet. And on an inhale, you're going to walk yourself forward, come back all the way into a plank. As you exhale, walking the hands back towards the feet into a fold. As you inhale, walk it forward, come into plank. Exhale, walk it back. We're going to do 2 more of these. Maybe make this motion a little bit faster. As you inhale, walk it forward. Exhale, back. 1 more inhale as we walk forward. Exhale, take it back. And as we come back towards the feet, kind of turning the toes out, bring the heels in, grab a hold of opposite elbow, finding your body as you sway from side to side. As you begin to bring yourselves in through to stillness, inhale, find a halfway lift. Reach your arms out to a T. As you exhale, begin to bend your knees, sink it low, bring the hands to heart center, sending the hips down, coming into your yogi squat. So really pressing the arms into the legs. Hands can be down on the mat. As you press the heart forward. Taking 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, planting those hands back down. You're going to send the hips up, folding over the legs. Big inhale, reach up halfway, send the hands to the shins. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, reaching the arms up above you. And then as you exhale, we're going to reach it over to the right. Inhale, finding length here on both sides of the body. As you exhale, reach it up and over to the left. Inhale is going to bring us through to center. Exhale, we're going to release our fingertips down to our side. Shake it out. And then from here, take an inhale. Exhale, you're going to begin to sway with the arms swinging from side to side. And then from here, we're going to find that crazy Kapalabhati breath we did in the beginning as we sway. So inhale, that passive inhale, and exhale, really sharp exhales. And release. Inhale, arms extending up. Exhale, we're reaching it over to the right. Maybe lift up onto your left toes and then begin to lift that left leg off of the mat. As you exhale, plant your foot, bend your knees, sink it down, coming into that yogi squat. If you need to, plant the hands. If not, inhale. Rise all the way back up to standing. Exhale, reaching it over to the left. Maybe you reach up onto the right toes, or maybe extend that right leg, finding a balance. Inhale is going to plant that right foot on our exhale. Bend your knees like you're sliding down a wall. Come into that yogi squat. And then again, if you need to, plant your hands. If not, we take that inhale, rise all the way up to our tall standing position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you lift up halfway. As you exhale, plant your hands just like before. Walk your hands forward, come into your plank. And this time, if your feet are out wide, you can step the feet in. Draw that lower belly up and in. As you exhale, begin to bend your knees. We're going to release them down halfway. Keep pressing away from the mat. Really igniting the core here. As you exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll it forward, plank. Exhale, bend the knees, let them hover. On your next exhale, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, send the gaze to the top of the mat. As you exhale, right foot's going to come forward. And then from here, we're going to spin ourselves open into a wide-legged forward fold. So releasing crown of the head down towards the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale out, big sigh. And then as you inhale, fingertips out in front of us, we lift up halfway. As you exhale, walking the hands over towards your left foot. Spin your left toes out, begin to bend your left knee as you sink into that right inner thigh, lifting the right toes off of the mat. As you lift them up towards the ceiling, coming in to our Skandasana. As you exhale, you're going to walk it through to center. Inhale, take it all the way to your right foot, turn your right toes out, sink in that left inner thigh, lift the left toes, coming back on the other side. One more inhale is going to walk us through to center. Exhale, we're taking it over to the left, so left toes come out. Sink it down. And then this time as we come down, you can either keep the hands on the mat or bring in the hands to heart center. Plant your hands. Lifting up. Walk yourself through to center. Inhale over to the right. Turn the right toes out. Exhale. Sinking it down. Again, hands can stay on the mat. Hands can come to heart center. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, plop it down to seated. As we bring that right foot into our left inner thigh, we bring our left hand to the inside of that left leg. As you inhale, send your right fingertips up. Exhale, reaching it up and over like you're trying to grab a hold of the left toes or the left foot. As you inhale, you're going to roll all the way up. Exhale, begin to turn your belly button towards that left leg. Inhale, arms extend up. Exhale as you soften down. As you inhale, arms extending past the ears, roll it up. Exhale, send your right leg out. Bring your hands to heart center. We're just going to play around with something here. So softening the gaze or closing the eyes completely. See if you can just really tune into your body. As you inhale, you're going to send your fingertips up above you. As you exhale, slide your feet in towards you. Keep your heart lifted. Draw your lower rib cage in. And then see if you can lift one foot and the other, or begin to lift both feet as we come up into our boat pose. And just seeing if we can do it with the eyes closed. Feel the shaking. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, you're going to extend yourself all the way out. Lower yourself down to your back. And then on an inhale here, slide the feet in towards your sit bones. Exhale, bring the knees into your chest. And then we're going to plant our fingertips down at our side. Draw your shoulder blades underneath your back. We're going to extend both legs up above us. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to begin to oomph yourself up. Then inhale, lower down. Exhale. So this is all coming from the core. So like you're pressing the core down in towards the spine to lift the legs and then lower. So we're lifting the low back off the mat and lower. Inhale. Exhale down. Make this movement as slow or as fast as you want it to be, as small or as big. And then switching the breath movement. As you exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Two more. As you exhale and lift, bring your hands to your low back and begin to walk them down. As you send the legs up above you, we're coming into what we always call our shoulder stand here. So we're bringing the chest in towards the chin, trying to walk those shoulders underneath the back a little bit more. Really sending the feet up above us. As you take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, begin to bend your knees in toward your face. And then seeing if you can extend your legs back, bringing the feet back behind the head, lowering down into our plow. So don't worry about if you can't go into plow. If you're in the shoulder stand, stay here. Maybe you just want to keep the knees in towards the chest. Or either planting the feet. Staying wherever we're at. You don't even have to do any of these poses. You can come out of all of them and just release onto your back. And if we come into that plow, we're really activating the legs. Keep yourself active here. Don't just slouch yourself down into your head. And then on your next exhale, you're going to slowly, no matter where we're at, if we're still up in to our shoulder stand, we still want to bring those knees in towards the face. Begin to slide yourself down very slowly. Or maybe we just plop down and that's totally fine. As you begin to plant your feet, just flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Take a moment here, kind of send the gaze back a little bit to open the throat. And then on your next inhale, extend your legs out, extend the arms up above you, full body stretch. And then as you exhale, bend your knees into your chest. You're going to roll over onto your right side. And then from here, you're going to roll all the way onto your belly. So we're going to extend the arms up past the ears like we're doing a Superman here. keeping the tops of the feet pressed into the mat. Inhale, you're going to lift your head and chest, lifting the hands and lifting the feet. As you exhale, soften down, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, pressing up into your tabletop. Exhale, send it up and back, downward facing dog. And once again, we send the gaze to the top of the mat. We're going to walk it forward. Find a little awkward movement. So instead of just that normal do up to the top of the mat, maybe cross one leg in front of one, then cross, and just keep crossing the legs as you walk it forward. Eventually making your way to the top of your mat, no matter how you did it. Coming into that forward fold as you inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, soften yourself down. And then an inhale, we're going to heel toe the feet back out to the edge of the mat. Exhale, bend your knees, sink it back down into that yogi squat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, release it down to seated. We're going to take our right leg out, left foot to the inner thigh, sending the right hand to the inside of the leg. Inhale, left arm extends up, and as you exhale, reach it over like you're trying to grab a hold of the right foot. And your next inhale, roll it all the way up, grow tall. Exhale, turning the belly button towards that right leg. As you inhale, extend your arms. And exhale, folding down over that right leg. And next inhale, grow tall, extending it up, reaching those fingertips up. Exhale, release the hands down. Slide your feet in towards you. And again, draw the front of the shoulders back. Into the back. Hello, I can't talk. Inhale, extending the arms up above you. And exhale, if you want to, play around, softening the gaze, closing the eyes. Or you can keep the eyes open as you begin to lift one foot then the other. Or lift both feet coming into that half boat. As you exhale, release it down, swing your feet out to the side, come all the way into your tabletop, take the big toes together, sink it back into your child's pose. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, roll up into your tabletop position. Big toes are still touching here. And then as you exhale, roll it up, come to stand up on the knees. Inhale, arms extending up above us. Exhale, press the hips forward, squeeze the glutes together, protecting that low back as you open the arms to goal post. Inhale up. Exhale, you're going to sink it down, child's pose, take a breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to roll up. Coming to sit like you're coming to sit back on the heels, but you're going to shift your feet out to the side. So take left leg out a little bit wider than your right foot. Come down to seated. You're going to draw your left foot in towards your left hip, and that right foot's coming to the left inner thigh. So we come into what's known as our deer sit. So taking an inhale as you draw up tall here. Exhale, you're going to send your right fingertips over to the right. Take an inhale, you're going to roll up onto your right knee. Keep your left knee bent as you lift up, stacking your hips. Take an inhale, left leg extends out, extend your left hand forward. And then as you exhale, bringing the elbow and the knee in towards each other, find a little crunch here. Inhale, you're going to extend long. Exhale, you're just going to bend your left knee, bring the left toes down, send your left hand behind you, kind of finding a slight back bend, kind of a modified wild thing pose. As you inhale, you're just going to send that left arm past the ears, lifting your left foot, and then exhale, gently send yourself down to a seated position. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to lift, switch your feet. So now we got our right foot in towards our right hip. Left foot is on top of that right thigh. Coming into deer sit on the opposite side. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, left hand goes over to the left. We inhale, roll up onto that left knee. You're going to lift your right foot up. Keep the knee bent so you're just stacking the hips. As you inhale, extending that right leg as you extend the right arm. Exhale, elbow and knee draw in towards each other. As you inhale, extend long. Exhale, you can bend that right knee. You can even bend your right elbow. Bringing the right toes behind you. And then send your right fingertips back. Opening the heart. Inhale, extend long. Lifting the right foot. And then exhale. Bend the elbow, bend the knee. Plant your right foot. And you're just going to slowly send yourself down to seated as you bring both knees in towards your chest. As you inhale, arms extend. Exhale, lifting the feet up into that half boat. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, extend it long. Come down to your low back. Inhale into a full body stretch. And then as you exhale, slide the feet in towards your sit bones. Take an inhale, press into your feet, shifting the hips over to the right. Exhale, release the knees over to the left, coming into a twist here. Maybe taking the gaze over the right shoulder if it's comfortable on the neck. And your next inhale, everything's going to come through to center, and you're going to extend those legs long into a full body stretch. As you exhale, slide the feet in towards the sit bones, shifting the hips over to the left. Release your knees over to the right. And then maybe taking the gaze over the left shoulder. On your next inhale, you're going to extend out, come into that full body stretch. Oh, give yourself a good stretch here for a moment. Work out the kinks. And then as you exhale, slide your hands down towards your hips as you walk the shoulders underneath the back, allowing the feet to fall away from each other. Take one more inhale in here. And then as you exhale, feel your shoulders softening into the mat. Feeling that release. Feeling the feet fall away from each other. As you just let go of the practice. And as we spent this practice to really help ignite not only our creativity, but the passion and the fire for our creativity. I hope that this leads you to writing your next big book. I'm just kidding. Or anything you feel that is your creativity, how you express yourself in that way. I hope that with this practice you had fun and you were able to bring yourself into this moment, even for this short time. And knowing you can stay here in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. And I thank you so much for coming to practice with me, as the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.